Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, another episode of The Beer Professor, and we're at the Bohemian Brewery in Midvale, Utah. When it comes to beer.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go on a little tour?
All right.
Now we're going to talk about the brew process itself. So Andrew, here we are at the mash tank.
Yeah, this is the brew house part
brew house
of the brewery here, and this is where we actually are doing our brewing on the first day. And yeah, mash tuns, hot liquor tank, everything's right here. And really the brewing process here is about 6 weeks, but a lot of that time is taken up in fermentation and lagering.
How long does it normally take at this stage?
It's about an 8 hour.
About 8 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brew day.
And then we move from here over to the fermentation tanks?
Yeah, then we'll, after we've done everything that we need, we're pulling flavor from grain at that point, and then we move into fermentation, which yeast gets pitched, and yeast eat the sugar, creates alcohol. And here you can see that happening.
See this process on top of your bucket as you're going through the fermentation process, and your first fermenter probably.
Basically a one-way filter. We had the water there so that as CO2 gets released from the yeast eating the sugar, that byproduct, it has a place to go to, and the water allows it to just be a one-way system rather than ambient stuff getting into the
last thing you
tanks.
want in your beer is things that aren't supposed to be there.
Yes. Bob, I think, don't you need a beer?
Is it any wonder I love my job? Yeah. Now, Andrew, tell me about this particular beer.
That's our seasonal beer that we made. It's called Choose the Rye, and it's basically a rye lager. It's got a little earthy spiciness to it, but it's real clean. We still use the lager yeast, and it gets lagered, so it's got a clean, crisp finish, a lot of flavor.
It sure looks like a tasty beer.
Lagering.
Well, give me
That's
just
the
a
secret.
quick explanation of what goes on.
Lagering is an aging process. It's a cold process, and during it, you get a real clarification of the beer. It's a time when all the sediment and things can kind of drop out, and that's one thing that we have here at Bohemian that we really love are these horizontal tanks, which take up a little bit more real estate in the brewery. And so a lot of breweries don't use them, but we have them here, and because the surface area has increased, you get an even cleaner, crisper beer.
Well, you know, one of the things you mentioned, real estate, there's an awful lot of beer making going on here, but it's pretty squeezed in. I mean, that is an important component. And the fact that you guys are willing to give up a little real estate for a little more quality, again, says something about what the Bohemian's doing.
Yeah, I think the idea is all these little things put together, like the decoction process that we do. Our lagering is for a little bit longer than most breweries. I mean, really officially to be a lager, I think you have to age for like 14 days. And we are more like 30 days. So this and the horizontal tanks and all these little things that we're doing really add up to make a better beer.
The place you've been is the place you'll be. The questions come, but no one answers. Say why we drink when.
Well, thank you for coming. I'm out of beer though, so I'm gonna go fill up. Thanks, Beer Professor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beer Professor signing out here at the Bohemian Brewery. I'm going to take myself a little bike ride and go get myself another beer. See you soon. Real hops. Right here at the Bohemian.
Take me back to that open road. Where it leads, I'll never know. Take me back to that place I've been, where it starts it all.
I love you, Hops. I've loved you for a long time. I'm so glad you do what you do. Thank you, Hops.